All right, good morning. Welcome, everybody. I am about to head out to Great Wolf Lodge with my girls, so we're going to make this fast and furious. Thanks for being here. Let's trade. Okay, first trade today was on Tesla. You can see this huge, big, nice dip down into kind of that aftermarket lows there yesterday. So I go ahead and get long 10 shares here at 10:06.59. So got 10 shares there. I'm willing to add in if this goes shorts down towards that $1,000 mark. But otherwise, I'm thinking that Tesla has a pretty good chance to bounce today. So we're going to see what it does. And it starts bouncing almost immediately here, but I want to kind of piece this one out. So I'm ready with 5 shares here. If we can get up towards the 10.12s, I'm thinking, all right, 5 at 10.12, and then we'll see if we can get the rest up towards the highs, maybe even through the highs with the remaining 5 shares from there. So it's pushing 10.12. I put it out there at 10.12, but I can't quite get the fill. So it's just kind of sitting there. I'm like, maybe it's going to do a reject off of this 10.12 whole number and not get me a fill here. So I go ahead and cancel that order out. And I'm like, all right, if we pop up back up through 10.11 now, I'll go ahead and take that 5 shares off and see if the remaining 5 can run a little bit. So that's what I do right there on that pop through 10.11. We've got those 5 out and we've got 5 to go. We'll see what those can do. Hopefully they're going to run up towards the highs, but if not, if it makes a big crash down, we can add those back in. It does start making a big move back to the downside. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start to have to look to add 5 shares in here. But at the same time, Snap starts going crazy. So Snap is moving here, moving up towards 31. I go ahead and start a short there with 100 shares at 30.69. And I will look to add in 100 more as it moves up nicely through 31. So that's the goal here on Snap. See if we can get the move up through 31 to add in another 100 shares and then see what it can do from there. So originally it kind of just hangs around this 30.69, 30.70, 30.80 for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, maybe it's just going to be one that just kind of works, or maybe it's going to go sideways for a while, but then it starts pushing up and we're getting closer to the 30.90s. So I'm like, okay, we get through 31. This is where I want to be adding on a nice little pop here through 31. So it's pushing up into the 90s here. Can't it get through 31? It's pushing 31 right here. Rejects off of it for just a second. I'm going to push up against it again here, though. And now, is it going to get up and through? Can it get up and through 31 here on Snap? It rejects off it again. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just going to bounce right off of it and not even give me the opportunity to get in some more there. So it does make the pop through. I go ahead and short another 100 shares there in Snap. Now have 200 short at 30.86, and we'll see if we can either add in or get the move back to the downside now. So it does start coming back to the downside, and as soon as we get under both entries there, take 75% off. So small profit there on the first 75%, and we've now got 50 shares left, and we'll see if those can get down a little bit further. But we got to remember, I'm still managing Tesla. I did end up adding in 5 more shares somewhere along the way here on Tesla. I don't even know if I got it edited in there or if I completely missed it, or I don't know. But I did end up getting 5 more shares in there, so I now have 10 shares of Tesla here at 10.0339. Feeling good about it still. Thinking it has a good chance to get back on up to the upside, but we'll see what it can do. So Snap now, we got that move down. We'll see if it can move down further. I'm kind of watching Snap here, watching Tesla over on my side chart, just waiting to see what it's going to do, what's going to happen here on this one. So just kind of sitting and waiting, watching both at the same time. Generally not something I do, but that's what I was doing today. So Tesla, I kind of was looking for even more shares here if this thing moved down towards the 990 mark. 994, I think, was really where I wanted to add in again for 10 more shares. And we're going to see what it does here in just a second. It actually pushes right down to it. I put the order out there at 9.984, didn't get filled, saw Snap moving, went back, covered all of Snap out there for $66. You can see my order there on Tesla at 9.94. Bounced right off of it, didn't get the fill. So that's unfortunate there. We're just going to have to see what Tesla wants to do now. It does bounce right off of it, and I'm like, all right, fine. At this point, I'll just try and take this thing off if I can get it off here, because I've been in it for a while. I didn't get my ad in there, so my average isn't too great. And unfortunately, right after that, of course, is when Tesla made the big run on the day. So SE though pops up a little bit later in the morning. Go ahead and start a short here at 94.80. Only 50 shares on this one because it can potentially be a big mover. And we're going to look to add if we can get a nice big move up through 95 towards that 95.50 zone. I was originally hoping it was going to pop nicely through that 95.50 zone, get me a nice like point move here on the 50 share ad, but it was running right into those 95.50s and slowing down big time. So I end up deciding just to go ahead and put the order out right here at 95.50, try and get those 50 shares short and move on from there. So I am going to get that fill there. Now I have 100 shares short at 95.15, and we'll see what those can do here on SE. They do start coming down. I put 50 of them out at break even. Those first 50 shares there at break even exactly on my entry. So got those first 50 out break even, and now we'll see if we can get the other 50 shares, which are at the much better price down towards like 94.40, if we can get a move under 94.50. So that's what I'm looking for here on SE. We'll see if it can do it for me. So it is starting to move down a little bit. Can it get down below the 94.50s here, 94.40s? It does get below for just a second. I'm like, that's not a great move under the 50s, but I still think I might be able to get 94.40 on a little flush down because this thing does get a little bit spready at times. So just watching the bid, seeing what the bid does here, sitting at 94.50. Can we get down below 94.40? Starts making a move down there. I see the bid under 40. I click it, get the fill there at 40 for plus 55. So that's going to do it for me today, up 144. I'm on my way out. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. The bounce back continues. Thanks for being here.